Hey there, everybody. I've got some of my vintage toilet stuff moved back to my new house. Really, not very a lot. I was able to bring one vintage toilet back, and I've brought a whole bucket full of parts. I've had a whole bunch of tank parts stashed away for years at this point, and I have gone through some of them and kind of sorted them out. And just wanted to show you guys some of my parts. Most of them are old. I've got a lot of brass parts. I don't have very many plastic parts. I like brass parts. Some people don't like them, and I can understand why, because you get them on an old toilet and they're rusted, they're corroded, they're frozen on, and if you know how to take them off, you can usually get them off. Sometimes you have to destroy them to get them off, but I enjoy saving them when I can. So just sorting through stuff. Not all of these are old parts even, but I've got some closet bolts. These are, I think that's a compression nut for a brass fill valve. I've got some extra 2-inch slip joint nuts. These are for a 2-inch flush L. This is an extra lift wire guide. Oh, this guy here. I bought this brand new and never used it for something, but this is a replacement overflow tube for a Douglas fill valve. So it's a 1-inch diameter tube, and it's got that fine thread on there. And I've had some brass fill valves where this tube broke off, and then this threaded part was still stuck in the body of the flush valve. And I have very carefully with a screwdriver removed this little bit of thread that's left, and then I have bought new tubes and threaded them back down in and reused the rest of the valve body was perfectly good. So I've done that to a couple of these. It's tricky to, and I think I got them on eBay. It's tricky to, how do I want to say it? It's tricky to figure out what to buy, because it has to be a 1-inch tube or 1.25 inches. Some of these are 1.25 inches, like the old standards, but you have to know what that thread is. But they can be bought still. The thing about replacing one of these is the old tubes were always taller, and so you can fit more water in the tank before it overflows. These are not going to be as tall as the old ones were. Well, that's a random Burnco. I don't even know why I kept that thing. Just some old Spuds. There's a couple of urinal Spuds and a couple 1.5 inches, a couple of 2-inch, 2x2. These are reducing Spuds. This is a 1.25 inches by 2-inch. This is 1.5 inches by 2. So you could put this in your standard Modernist or similar, and you could put your flushometer in there, or a high tank with this one, because most high tanks used 1.25 inch flush tube. I've got various flush L's back here. That one's brand new, never used. These have been used, and you can tell because of the end. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got like 6 of these things. 5 or 6 anyway. Well, more than that. These are 2 more flush L's that are brand new in the box. I got those at a restore. Yeah, and this is just an empty Mansfield box. I have this valve somewhere. I think it's in a tank. And then a lift wire and a Sloan diaphragm, a couple of lift wires, closet bolts. These closet bolts, I haven't used these yet, but these are kind of cool because they're adjustable. You can adjust the length down so you don't have to saw them off. Would like to try those soon. Some faucets. These are some new old stock seats. This one here is kind of cool. Of course. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, let's see, I got that thing for cheap. Might use it someday. Tank lid for my 4050 tank. Oh, not all of this is plumbing or toilet related. This is a flush tube cover for a 20s standard. These are porcelain nut caps for a toilet bowl. So these are from a standard. If you had a standard from the 30s or the 40s or the 50s, this is what they came with. They had more decorative ones for some of the, like the One Piece and some of the compacts at one time. And then these things here are Kohler. There's another one that's upside down. And these old nuts, you can see what you usually did was you pack them with plumber's putty and then you stick them over the bolt, and then the putty was meant to harden over time and the bolt would stay stuck there. In fact, sometimes if you try to get these off when they've been there a long time, you need to be careful because they may crack because the putty's all old and hard. That's not plumbing. This is knob and tube stuff here. This is a nice wrench for Spuds flush valves. It's a rigid. I like this wrench. That's a seat from one of the Crane Sanettos. I don't have one of those here, although I could get one here. I'll do a separate video on that. You guys haven't seen that yet. And yeah, just some of my plumbing parts. I've got more. And hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later.